Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Introduction to Web Development. Now in this video we are going to be going over two kind of fundamental topics of HTML, which are links and lists. And of course, like, these are not necessarily related, but they are both kind of small enough so that I can package them into one video. Now links in HTML, of course, they link you either to a different page on the website, or they can link you to a different website, or certain links can even make you open an email client and stuff like that. Basically, they just take you somewhere else, and you click on them and then they take you somewhere. And then lists in HTML, there's two main kinds. There's the unordered lists and the ordered lists. Unordered lists are generally like bulleted, like you'll have bullet points or like squares or something that is in no particular order, while ordered lists are generally either numbered, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or they're lettered, like A, B, C, D, E. And those are the two main kinds of lists in HTML. Now the specifics of what we'll be going over in this video are the A tag, and the A tag is called shorthand for the anchor tag, and that is kind of like what it's what gives links, or like the A tag is a link basically. And that's because the link tag is already reserved for other things. It's kind of confusing, but yeah, just know the A tag is the actual link. And then we have the UL and the OL tags, which are the unordered lists and the ordered lists. And as I said previously, the difference between the two is usually, like, in an ordered list, you'll have an actual ordering, like 1, 2, 3, 4, while unordered lists, it'll just be bullet points basically. And then of course, we are also going to be going over images as links. We kind of like touched on this in the previous video, but we didn't get to it because we didn't actually go over links until this one. And then we will be going over the styling, like text decoration, coloring, like you can style links based on if you've clicked on them already or not, and stuff like that. So we'll get into that later. So without further ado, let's go ahead and open up our code files from the previous video. I'm going to start up our live server by clicking this Go Live in the bottom right here, and that will open up our code from the last time. So in the last video, we kind of created all of these, all of this stuff. We have all of our styled headings, we have our paragraphs, we have all the paragraphs inside this div that we gave like a blue background. We centered it and then we gave it red text. And then we had the image from the previous video. And if you remember, we gave our image a width of 300 pixels and we gave it a border radius of 30%, which is why it's curved like this. So that's basically what we went over in the previous episode. And in this one, we are going to be going over links, like I said. So to get started, we're going to go ahead and come into this body tag here before we created that image, and then we're going to create a new tag called an A tag. Now, as I said previously, an A tag stands for an anchor tag, and that is a kind of like a link in HTML. So we are going to start by putting like "this is my cool link" inside of the tag, just like any other text, and it creates some simple text. And notice you can't actually click it. It doesn't do anything when you click on it, and that's because we haven't actually specified where we want this thing to link to. So we didn't tell it, do we want to go to a different page or to a different website? So as far as the website knows, it doesn't know where to link to, so it doesn't do anything. In order to actually add that linking functionality, we add an attribute to the A tag. And if you remember, attributes are the third kind of component of HTML, in which you have the name of the tag in between, and then you put a space before you close it, and then you give the name of the attribute and then the value. So for the actual link, we give it an attribute called href. And href is basically saying, this is where I want you to go when you click on this link. So we can say href equals https://google.com. And if we save this, notice that this link becomes colored and it becomes underlined like this. And if we right click, of course, open link in new tab, or if we just click on it, it'll take us to google.com, like I said here. So that was basically like the A and the href. And remember, like, the href is where you want it to link to. So in this case, we gave it a different website, but sometimes we might want to link somewhere else on the same website, and various things like that. So there is another thing. If you'll notice, when I click on this, it takes us to google.com and it kind of leaves the web page. There is a way that we can make it so that when you click on these links, it will actually open in a new tab on the average like browser. So the way we do that is we actually add a different attribute. We add two different attributes. First, we have to add target equals, and then for the value, you want to give it underscore blank. And if we save this and click on it, notice it no longer overrides our tab here. Notice up here at the top, if I close this Google and I click this, it opens a new tab. Whereas if I removed this target equals underscore blank, if I click it, it opens it in the same tab. So that is the beginning of how you make it open in a new tab. But there's actually some security flaws to this, which can cause like a user to get hacked potentially. So whenever you add this target underscore blank, you have to add something else called rel equals and then no opener, like that. And then it does the same thing, but it just fixes that security issue that is inherent when you add this target equals underscore blank. So that is target and rel. Now, if you want to like look into more as to why you need this second part, I actually included a link here in the resources of this agenda. And of course you can find this by going into the description of this video, and then you should be able to click on that link that says like all the code in my videos, find this episode 5 folder, and then you can open this, and the link is right here, or is right here. So that is that. And then, so that was basically links, pretty short, but now we're going to get to lists. Now in HTML, you can create either ordered or unordered lists, like I said, and we're going to start with an unordered list. So of course you start it by typing in UL, which stands for unordered list. And this one is a little bit different from the other tags that we've been using in that we actually want to put more tags. Like we create this UL tag here, and then instead of putting text in the inside, we actually put something called an li tag. So we're putting tags inside tags. So you open the UL, and then you put a tab inside, and then you open the li. And then in the li is where we put our item. So let me go back to our document and then save this. So notice we actually have item, or I'm going to name this item 1. So we have an item 1, and then we create another li to add a second item. Oops. And actually, I'm going to have these on the same line. That way it doesn't confuse you too much. So yeah, you open this li here, and then you put item 1, and then you open another li, and then put item 2, and then put another li, item 3, and then notice it creates a bulleted list of 3 items. Now, to actually create an ordered list, it's very similar. In fact, we can literally copy this right here, and then paste it. And then we can change OL to, or UL to OL. OL and then a /OL on this side, and that will just number it basically by default. It's 1, 2, 3. Now there is a way we can change these to letterings like ABC instead, and we'll go over that shortly. So that was the basics of UL, OL, and LI, because basically LI means list item. So whenever you have an unordered list or ordered list, you put list items on the inside. And then you put the actual text of the list item inside, just as a little thing, because HTML actually usually doesn't care about white space or about like new lines, so you can hit enter a bunch of times, and that's why you need these LIs, because if you didn't have them and you just put item 1, item 2, and item 3, HTML doesn't actually know, like it doesn't care about the fact that you put a new line. All of these would be lumped into one kind of list item, so that's why you have to separate them using these li tags here. And then so we're going to quickly go over images as links. So as you notice here, we have this link with the A, and then we put some text on the inside. But what we can actually do is we can just remove our text, and then we have this A here with nothing on the inside. And in order to use an image as a link, we simply move the image inside it. So we take this image here that we created in the last episode, and then we can copy it and then paste it inside the A. So as you can see here, we have our A tag, we open it, and then we close it, and then before we do, we put the image tag inside it. And then notice we can actually click on this image tag here now, and it opens up to Google. So that's how you create an image as a link. And then after that, we quickly want to go over styling, basically. So there are a couple different styles, mainly for links. For lists, there's not that many, at least not that many simple stylings. So we're going to go ahead and start with that. So I'm going to revert back to our code with the with the this is my cool link text. And remember, we click on this and it opens up google.com. So we're going to go ahead and give this another attribute called ID equals like r-link, if you remember. That just helps me target it in our code. And then I'm going to come here into style, and then I'll add a new entry, hash r-link, targets the ID on that link, if you remember from the styling video. And then we are going to add a couple attributes. So we can give it, or a couple styles. So we can give it text decoration, that's one, text dash decoration. And then there's a bunch of different options here. Whoops. There is dashed, dotted, double, line through, none, overline, solid, underline, and wavy. So for example, if we gave it a dashed text decoration and we save this, it removes that underline because it initially does have a text decoration underline. And let's say we gave it instead a line through, then notice it's like a strike through for this text here. Or we could give it something like an overline for whatever reason, and then it puts the line over the text. So there's a couple different stylings that you can give it. And remember, this is called text dash decoration. Or if you want to give it none, then it just removes the underline, but the link is still a link. So if you click on it, it still links you. And then after that, you can give it a color. Of course, you can give most or many different elements colors. Links are no exception. So we can give it a color of, say, red. And then I save this, and then notice the link is now red. You can still click on it. It still goes somewhere. It doesn't look like blue with an underline. So notice we actually can change the styling to make the links look like whatever we want. They don't have to be blue underlines like you see on most websites. And then there are a couple, these are called pseudo selectors. So we want to create more. So we can do our link again, and then we can use these various things called pseudo selectors, which are basically like in different situations, we want to apply different stylings. So a good example would be a:hover. So we give our link thing, and before we actually open up the curly bracket, we can give it the pseudo sector or the pseudo selector :hover. And what that means is whenever we hover over the link, this style will be applied. So if we set the color equal to yellow, for example, and we save, if I hover over the link, it turns yellow because it's our link and then :hover. And then for example, if we do r-link :visited, which is a different pseudo selector, then we can change it to like green. We can change the color to green, for example. And then notice the link is green because we've already clicked on it before, which means it's visited. And notice like when you have a normal link on a website, it's blue, but then once you click on it, it turns purple. And that's kind of like the same parallel there. And then of course there is the active link. So we can say, we can just do our link and then :active over here. And then we can give it another color like purple, for example. And if I notice it's yellow, but I click on it and it becomes purple. And what that means, active, is basically when you're clicking on it, but when you let go, then it turns. But it's active while you're clicking on it. So those are the four main pseudo selectors, or the three main pseudo selectors for links, which were these here. And then the final styling that we're going to go over is the list style type. So if we come here to the our OL, or our UL, it doesn't really matter, but we're going to go with the OL for now, and we're going to give it an ID of r-OL. And then here in our stylings, we're going to create some new lines, and we're going to select r-OL, and then we're going to give it a list style type of alpha or lower alpha. And notice what happens here is it goes from 1, 2, 3 to ABC. And we can give it an upper alpha, which gives it a capital ABC. We can give it like, let's see, there's a bunch of different ones. So we can give it like lower Greek, and I guess that's alpha, beta, and then I don't know what this one is. I don't know all the Greek. I don't know very many Greek letters. And then there's like, yeah, there's a ton of different ones. We can also give it none, meaning it literally just removes the bullet. Like we can also have just a free floating list here. And that works for both the unordered lists and the ordered lists. So if we give our UL an ID of r-UL and we create a new style here, we can select r-UL, and then we can give it a list style type of squares, for example. And notice over here, it turns from bullets to squares. Or we can give it disks, which are basically, those are actually bullets, are disks by default. And then we can give it like decimal, which would turn this into an ordered list. So basically, this list style type right here is what dictates what comes before each item in the list. So that was the main style. So yeah, that has been links and lists. Those are the main kind of concepts behind them. Of course, there's always more like styles to add and more various things. And of course, if you do happen to want to look into those, I left some extra links here in the resources section for this website called W3 Schools. If you visit there, you can see like a bunch of different information and more information than I cover here on the styling and all the various things that you can do with these HTML elements, because there's always more to learn really with every single type of HTML, CSS, and any code in general. So of course, if you don't remember how to get here, you can go to my GitHub, which is linked in the description. It says all the code of my videos. Navigate your way to this video's agenda.md, and then you can actually check out this link right here. So yeah, if you want to see more videos as they come out, or if you happen to miss any of the videos previously, go ahead and check out the playlist linked in the description where I'll be uploading daily. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for notifications whenever I post new videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.